shit. Premier Battles versus No Loose Chat Rebuild. We're here with my like MOAK. What's happening, my bro?
It's MOAK, not MOAK. Please ensure that it's all.
I know, you have to check me before still. You have to check me on that. You have to check me on that. Please ensure. I definitely will make sure is all this going to be.
Before I share a video, I make sure if that's in place, and I'm like, all right, we can share it.
Yeah. Nah, I respect it still. I should have known better.
It's all good.
But yo, what are you saying though? How'd you feel? You just came off a crazy battle with Quill,
Bro, like,
definitely one of the best Quills I've seen as well. So
yeah, like Quill was really good. If you had told me when I started battling 3 years ago that I'd be battling Quill, although I felt I would have been worthy of the opportunity, knowing how my journey went, I would have been a bit like, rah, me and Quill, like, you know, because like Quill's one of those guys I watched on Don't Flop when Don't Flop was popping. I was like, I rate Quill because he's not just all about jokes. He's actually penmanship. You get it? I know I was chatting shit in the preview to me, but he's actually got penmanship. So I was like, I rate
and showmanship as well.
And showmanship. So it's like when you combine those two, it's like you're very dangerous and you're very entertaining to watch. So I knew I was up against it. Obviously, having the Messi battle like 3 weeks just before it wasn't the most ideal situation to be in. I think Quill had more of the advantage, obviously, because he didn't have a battle before then. But I think I'm more than made up for it with my content and my breakdown and my approach and my engaging with the crowd and just like confidence and just like comfortability on the stage. And yeah, like I said, Quill did his thing, and like I think it's going to be a great battle for the fans to watch because mine was more of like a proper breakdown of him as an individual. Everything was very tailored. You could tell nothing was really kind of you could use against anyone else. He anticipated that I'll take my material from Messi to him, but I looked over all 3 rounds and I was like, bro, there's nothing I can use from that battle against you. Messi's thing was very tailored. So and then Quill, obviously his material is more of like showmanship, playing to the crowd, you know, trying to Quill did what Quill was expected to do. So
yeah. Obviously, I don't want to spoil it for the people at home and that they ain't watched it yet. But he had a great moment in there involving the crowd and everything. That was sick as well.
Yeah. I rated that. I think there's no one in here that didn't rate that moment. Like that moment was crazy. Like,
how did you feel about the crowd though? How do you think the crowd reacting to you?
When I did my first bar, I felt like I could already sense that the crowd were kind of like, you know, obviously we're in Manchester, there's Premier's League, so I felt like, you could tell that they were just like, all right, you have to do more, and then it
made you work harder for it.
Made me work harder for it, but I was like, that's cool. You know, when you practice a lot, none of that phases you because you're like, all right, cool, I could get through my round easier, if anything, because there's no interruptions, but you have to go on with the belief that, because I knew the second half of my first round was going to be very impactful. I was like, don't worry, if you're not reacting now, cool. Second half, it's gonna pop off, and it did. You know, like I was saying things that you could not react to, if that makes sense. It was like I was breaking the man down properly, like,
100%.
You know, throwing a freestyle about the event moving to different locations. And
crazy,
come on, man.
Crazy.
Like, that's something the vet should be doing, and I did it. You get it? So it's like
crazy.
What more would you ask?
Nah, to be fair, I put you more towards the vet side now. I don't class you as a new guy. You know, you're experienced enough.
I still got a lot to learn.
Of course, but so do every other vet. So you get me. So, but yeah, man, I definitely think that was a crazy mock, and you keep elevating every battle, which is the most thing.
And I'm glad,
the most important thing.
Considering the time frame I had to write it, I had like 7 to 10 days to really zone in and write properly. I think I could be proud of what I did on the stage.
100%.
And I think if it was 3 rounds, it could have been more interesting. Not to say that this one rounder wasn't interesting, but I think I can tell through both of our materials, we both could have expanded a lot more on some of the things we were saying.
Yeah.
Get it?
You had to condense the material in certain subjects.
So
I know what you mean.
You know, that one round, I could have easily made it 3 rounds. If like you could see the sections where it kind of start to break up and go.
Could have had a bit more than this section here.
Yeah. So I think, like we you know, it was a 1 rounder. We did what we had to do, it. Yeah, man. Like I'm just proud to say that I battled Quill and I put on a fucking good show, and people think that it's a very good replayable value battle, and it was like a good style clash. It's good to watch back.
Do you feel like you won?
Do I feel like I won? Yeah, I don't feel like that I walked out of there. If I walk out of there feeling like, damn, this guy fucked me
got
up,
me.
that's when I feel like I lost. But if I don't feel like that, then I feel like to some degree I can always argue that I had won.
100%.
So I didn't feel like that when I walked out of Quill, and I'm sure Quill didn't walk away feeling like he got fucked up. But I do think he would think that like that second half of the first round he was really getting at me and like trying to take the picture or perception that people have of him. Get it? So I think it's going to be a good one for the people to watch back and debate and say, oh, you know what? MOAK was more of a breakdown, it was more direct. Quill was a good showmanship and did something sick, but some parts weren't as direct as others and da. So, you know, like I leave it to the people to say. I don't really like to claim that I won. As long as I do what I have to do and I feel like I've given the best performance I could, then I can't really complain.
At the end of the day, regardless of how people all battles feel after their battle, at the end of the day, just the end general consensus is what's going to matter anyway. And some battles, we don't really care about wins or losses anyway.
Yeah, and sometimes...
Especially on one-rounders.
Yeah, especially on one-rounder. So it's like, I'm not really bothered. It's a one-rounder. Like, who's to say that if it was 3 rounds, you know, like, who knows how it's going to go. But with me, it's like, I don't want to take away from what the general consensus is, because then that pushes me not to be deluded, if that makes sense.
100%,
like, some people will be like, fuck the general consensus, I feel like I did it. Like,
and they don't know what to improve.
And then you don't know what to improve on. So, like, I look at some battles and I see the arguments as to why people may have thought this guy won, even though I feel strongly like the other way. But I'm like, you know what? I'm smart enough to realize why they might have felt that
100%.
way. Okay, so this is now what I need to not do in a battle next time, or this is what I need to do more of next time. So, you know, I'm humble enough to accept that and whatnot. And like, you know, like if you see the performance I put on today, you'll know that I'm getting better. You'll know that I appear more experienced and more like you said, you don't want to call me a newcomer, I'm more like a low-key vet, more so for my class, I'd say, not like on the general scale, but like,
definitely, man.
Yeah, man, I think
we're saying I battle next. I battle next as well.
Yeah, I battle March against Ben Superior in Boston. Woo! I'ma kill that boy. But yeah, that should be good. And then after that, I got Absolute against Briggsy. That will be interesting. That's even harder than battling.
Your year's already looking crazy still.
Yeah. Like
and
the craziest thing is if I don't like to bring this up, but if I battled Messi. And then had this performance to follow it, bro. People would have been talking very differently about me. That's all I'm saying.
Definitely, man. Yeah, man. Sign me out, my bro.
Love, man. Love to the Wiretap. Thanks for having me on. Boom. Shout out to Trouble.